Hell no, bro. I feel like if you mutilate a body, it shouldn't even be a trial. Just throw them underneath the prison. As soon as you get enough evidence, bro, just throw them underneath the prison. Like, literally dig a hole and shove them underneath the prison.
Reality show airs on VH1 starring a woman named Megan Hauserman.
Oh my god. I don't mean to disrespect. This woman literally has negative ass. Like, this is crazy.
Megan Hauserman.
Like, how do you do that? That's insane to me. What?
Racist against rappers, they all look the same to him. They used to beg him not to egg him on Halloween. He told him holler back with the suede pumas, dollar green. Nah, I mean, heat it up till the temperature tarball. Y'all just gawk like gargoyle.
Alright, this finna be a long one. Might as well get cozy and grab you a snack. We're about to get spooky. Nexpo, The Darkest Lost Media Volume 3. I would put Nexpo up there with Nick Crowley and whoever else you can think that makes these really well edited, kind of scary like videos. Shouts out to Nexpo. Did I say shouts out? You know what? It's whatever, bro. All right, let's get it. This dude always does his videos like they're like actual mini movies. Y'all ever seen the show Lost Tapes? Like, every time I see something like this, it always reminds me of Lost Tapes, bro. That goofy ass show. Nexpo presents. I don't even know what that was. I can't even begin to think how much time went into these videos, bro. Tape 001, The Will of God.
March 21st, 1997. History of the Prophet Joseph Smith. In 5th through 8th grade class. How anxious I am for Heavenly Father's Spirit to touch your minds and hearts. For what the Prophet Joseph Smith did was right.
Hailing from a tiny Utah town called Short Creek.
Why is the captions on? What the hell?
Was a cult. The Fundamentalist Church of Latter-day Saints, or FLDS for short. Most recently run under the grasp of a man named Warren Jeffs, they operated completely under the radar for the better part of the past century.
What?
For years, Jeffs and his predecessors maintained strict control over their members, preaching the central idea that plural marriages were not only a God-given right, but were the only way for members to access the kingdom of heaven.
So, polyamory.
He was known to call himself the prophet, the only member of the church who could talk to God.
What?
And if God told him that you should marry someone, you wouldn't go against his will, would you?
Hell nah.
Wife after wife after wife, the prophet would arrange to wed, not only for the adult men
That's crazy to just line up all your wives like this, like they're trophies.
inside the church, but most prominently for himself. Tens, hundreds of women were used as pawns, tickets that they believed would grant them eternal salvation.
Golly.
as
And you can see he has a type. He has a very particular type.
you'd expect, their ages were never considered.
What?
Inside the FLDS, hundreds of children were born through underage mothers, forced into arranged marriages with men upwards of 85 years of age.
What?
And all of them wholeheartedly believed that they were carrying out the will of God.
How do you even set something like that up, bro? Like, what? Nexpo HQ.
The story of the FLDS is one of the darkest I know, and they, too, have troves of media both destroyed and sealed away. We will be diving into the full story of the FLDS very soon. However, they're not fully the reason we're here tonight. In 2008, a game show premiered on Fox called The Moment of Truth. It involved contestants answering highly controversial and often abrasive questions in front of a live studio audience in exchange for an ever-growing grand prize.
I think I've seen clips of this show.
Prior to each episode, contestants would take a polygraph test to ensure the accuracy of their responses on stage. And I'm sure you can see how this could go downhill very quickly. Answer a highly personal, highly secret question correctly in front of the world, and the bag of cash dangling over your head grows ever more.
And then polygraphs aren't even like accurate. This girl looks she about to crash out already. Polygraphs aren't even accurate. That's why they're not admissible as evidence in court.
Answer it wrong, however, and your affairs are exposed in front of thousands and are forever etched into broadcast history. In August of 2010, a contestant named Melanie Williams took the stage for the show's 9th episode of its 2nd season. Unlike those that competed before her, however, Melanie carried with her a dark, disturbing past.
Yeah. Yeah.
While living in a polygamous community, did you know of any underage girls who were married to adult men?
What? You can't just ask that as like a question in a game show. What is wrong with these niggas?
Yeah.
That answer is true.
But nothing could stop her dramatic climb to the top.
Dude, that's... what?
As it turns out, Melanie Williams grew up inside the FLDS and witnessed
What?
firsthand the atrocities committed against the women and children within. To this day, Season 2, Episode 9, her debut, is completely scrubbed from existence, leaving us with only an archived trailer hinting at the inner details she revealed.
Why did they even record it in the first place, bro? That's ridiculous.
Interestingly, even though Episode 9 is considered lost, Melanie actually returned for Episode 10, one that has been found in full.
What?
Within it, she takes the stage for a final $500,000 question, the grand prize of this show and something no contestant before her has ever been able to win. In the beginning, host Mark Wahlberg warns her of what she's about to be faced with, giving her an opportunity to opt out. However, after reading it and taking a moment to really let it sink in, she decides apprehensively that she's gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it for my dad. I'm gonna go for it.
But for 500K, okay, well back then 500K was a lot, but they about to ask her something crazy about that code again, bro. This is not, it's not even entertainment, dude. This is trauma.
Holy moly!
Are you okay?
No, she's
Just
not
a-
okay.
Question, excuse me. But it's a tough question for me. It's a tough question. But I can do it.
Tearful and aware of what she's about to reveal, her father questions what could possibly be causing a reaction like this. She has, up to this point, aired out so much already. How much more really is there?
It's gonna be something about, did she like do something with the dude?
Yes? Okay. For $500,000, Melanie Williams. Question 21. Do you believe your father, as an adult, has ever had sexual relations with a minor?
What in the fuck is wrong with this TV show, bro? What is actually, who is giggling? No way, it's yes.
Yes.
That answer is True.
Lock his ass up. What? She said, I'm gonna do this for my father. Was her father part of the cult?
The audience erupts as Melanie sits, shocked at what she just unveiled to the world. Her father, equally stunned. And it all culminates in one of the strangest, most dystopian moments that I have ever seen on broadcast television. As the family embraces, Wahlberg questions her father about this illegal relationship, to which he completely downplays it.
All the time.
As part of that culture.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Let's hear what John feels of that.
Dude, no, bro, because what? That's something that destroys the family. Like, at that point, I'm surprised they don't start boxing on stage. What's going on with this dude?
Gosh.
I'm not sure when I did this, I knew what a minor was. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
Wife number 2 was 17. She had just gotten out of high school.
I'm not gonna lie, I would never do this, but like Batman and Superman, the entire Justice League themselves couldn't get that information down to me. No way. I would never be in this position because I would never do something like that, but that's ridiculous, bro. On national TV for $500,000. It don't matter. You're going to jail. You gotta go to jail after that. Assuming everything is real. Niggas will do anything for some money.
In January of 2011, over 4 months after this episode aired, Melanie Williams took to her personal blog to clear up any speculation about her time on the show. Within a post made on January 7th, she claims that her father had actually lied that night, that the girl wasn't 17 like he claimed. In reality, she was 14? And her name was Joy.
Oh, hell no. I ain't gonna lie, I would just beat my father's ass on stage.
As far as it's known, her father has neither been investigated nor charged since this aired, and there's been no further updates from Melanie herself. Even so, this broadcast is one of the strangest that I have ever watched, and I wouldn't be surprised if it contributed to the Moment of Truth's cancellation. Regardless of whether Season 2, Episode 9 is ever found, Melanie Williams successfully exposed the illegal atrocities committed by one of the world's darkest cults in front of thousands. A cult that has done everything in its power to keep its depraved history a secret. And a cult, the FLDS, who manipulated and abused women and children for over a century. All veiled under the will of God.
Shout out to Melanie for exposing those weirdos. I can't even believe that, bro. Now I want to do a deep dive into that.
We'll return after these messages.
I love the old
Alright
school
guys,
type
before
of
we
videos.
continue, I'd like to tell you about tonight's video sponsor, Sailing. So, a couple months ago, I went to a place on my bucket list, Ireland. And while it was an amazing time, I was slapped with the biggest cell phone bill I have ever seen when I got home. So unfortunately, I didn't realize that international fees are a thing. Like an idiot. Enter Sailing, a service that allows you to purchase...
I ain't gonna lie, I probably would forget all about international fees too. Shout out to Sailing. Shout out to Nexpo. Now I really want to do a deep dive into that cult, bro, because that's crazy work. Cults always interested me.
When you're at Landmark number 1,
It's October 1999. Residents on the south end of Fort Worth, Texas, notice a certain smell lingering in the air. It's repugnant, nauseating, a pungent, pervasive odor of rot.
That man whipped out the damn thesaurus.
The stench is inescapable, rapidly enveloping parks, homes, and businesses. Something in the area is festering, and it's carrying an inescapable wave of what can only be described as the smell of deteriorating flesh. Disgusted and worried, residents in the area contact authorities in the hopes that anyone can figure out what the hell is going on. This odor has come up so quickly. So where in the world is it coming from?
It was so bad the whole town smelt it. Somebody didn't wash their butt cheeks.
Check out this week's Screen Price specials on all flavors of Jell-O frozen pudding pops.
Old-timey commercial jingles piss me off, bro. I don't know. It's so corny.
This of the grapes. At Ralph's, you expect this kind of quantity. One is...
It's like my mother always told me, get what you want, but get it at Wallbounds.
I know how good my quality meats taste, but you have
Hey, yo! No diddy!
Prices look.
Resting at the corner of Hemphill and West Fogg Street in Fort Worth, Texas, sits an abandoned building. A grocery store called the Mexia Supermarket. Known to have been owned by a family from Laos, it served the surrounding neighborhood for years. But here, they were nowhere to be found. Their store is rotting, their home vacant, and it's like they up and left, leaving
Damn, the family gone?
the only remnants of their existence. A neighborhood suffering from an inescapable smell, and a grocery store that's festering right under its own weight.
Don't tell me like the whole family got slaughtered or something. Damn. Yo, people who like explore abandoned buildings are absolutely out of their damn minds, bro. You would never know. Hell no. What? Y'all seen them TikToks talking about still water and how like terrible it is if you ever like stepped into it or you drank from it, bro? Like all the bacteria growing. Hell no, dude. You can't pay me money to do that. Well, you could, but not now you ain't doing it for free.
Inside, rotting deli and meat discolored as bacteria consumed it.
What? They just left everything in there?
Produce began to wither and emit hazardous gas.
Oh, nah, bro.
Frozen goods and milk exploded due to an uncontrolled fermentation inside them. And the air inside, unbreathable, as the oxygen was completely depleted.
Nobody cleaned out the store? Nobody thought to clean it out?
As you'd expect, the building, by the time it was found, was in a state of complete disrepair, as maggots, roaches, rats, and thousands of flies had nested within its crevices.
Nah, bro. Hell no. That sounds like something out of Dying Light. I'm good on that, bro.
The scene? Unreal. And all of this was the product of a building left to decay for nearly 3 months.
I just don't understand how did nobody notice that it was abandoned? Like, what happened?
In the following days, the Fort Worth Health Department officially declared the site as a health hazard, sparking a massive cleanup operation. But as they assessed the building, they realized that it would prove far more complicated than initially imagined.
I think my allergies are starting to act up, bro.
Because of the live rodents, millions of insects, and the buildup of hazardous gas, demolishing or burning the building down wasn't possible, as everything within it would simply migrate to the neighboring homes.
Oh my
And
god.
so, instead, a crew was hired to clean it by hand. Decked
Dude, no way, bro. Okay, side tangent, man. I worked for a house restoration company. Oh my God. We had to clean up a house where somebody had died in it, and he had left a whole bunch of cats. The cats ate and shit everywhere. And the dude, he was literally bedridden, so he had shit the bed and everything, bro. Oh my God, dude. I'm about to throw up just thinking about it. Yo. We had to put on full hazmat suits and everything. And I was only making like $17 an hour doing that.
Down to hazmat suits and oxygen tanks, they were tasked with bagging and removing the rotten food, disinfecting every surface inside, and fumigating the premises, all while navigating through the millions of insects surrounding them.
Oh my God, it's literally black.
Reportedly, the initial scene was so infested with flies that cleanup crews couldn't even see more than a few feet in front of them.
Jesus.
The cleanup efforts took nearly a month to complete, and by December, the building stood completely empty, yet still carrying a lingering odor of rot. Years later, it was eventually bought out and rebranded as a store called Terry's. However,
Terry is a different breed.
According to a review left on Google, nearly 14 years after Mexia, the place, even still, reportedly smelled like death.
So what happened to the family?
All of the footage you've seen so far has been taken from a 2010 History Channel documentary called Life After People. And while it gives us an inside look at the conditions there, it's merely a small piece of this story. As it turns out, tons of news coverage was taken showcasing both the interior and exterior of the building before the cleanup operation began.
And it all got disappeared.
However, as of now, it stands completely inaccessible.
What?
According to an online user named The Hookup, the news coverage of Mexia depicted a scene so repulsive that the windows appeared blackened due to the millions of roaches and flies covering them.
What?
I did have dreams about this one neighborhood in Fort Worth that was due to a news story at the time. A supermarket in this one low-income area of town just closed one day. The images on the news are what gave me bad dreams. Windows blackened by millions of roaches, rats in swarms. The smell had to be apocalyptic. 2-month-old fish, 2-month-old carrots, pork, thousands upon thousands of rat droppings. I was obsessed with the story, hence why I dreamt about it, being in there. It still freaks me out.
That would freak me out too. That would freak me all the way out.
To this day, this 1 minute of video is the only known footage in existence depicting the absolute nightmare left behind inside Mexia supermarket. And as we've seen, while evidence of other archives are out there, they have seemingly been buried in the void of broadcast history.
Oh my God,
With
bro.
attention to it growing day by day, perhaps someday more footage about this will emerge.
I need to hear like a first-hand account from one of the people who had to clean up in there, bro. Because I'm telling you, whatever they paid you, it was not enough.
However, as of now,
God, it wasn't enough.
this is all we have. And it just might stay that way for years to come.
You know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't need to see any more of that nasty-ass supermarket. The body in the suitcase.
This is VH1. Video Hits 1.
Hello.
After waiting some considerable time to find a well-set-up gentleman, Megan was prepared to meet a man she could wind up spending the rest of her life with.
I'm nervous. I'm excited.
August 2nd, 2009. A reality show airs on VH1 starring a woman named Megan Hauserman.
Oh my God.
A reality show airs on VH1 starring a woman named...
Okay, I don't mean to disrespect, but this woman literally has
9.
like negative ass. This is crazy.
A reality show airs on VH1 starring a woman named Megan Hauserman.
Like, how do you do that? That's insane to me. What?
It's called Megan Wants a Millionaire, and it involves 18 suitors vying for her love by competing in challenges and trying to impress her with high-dollar dates.
Megan Wants a Millionaire. Okay, so let me go ahead and say this for now. You gotta have way more ass than that to have a whole reality show about who you're gonna date next.
Out of every contestant on the show, a man named Ryan Jenkins had
like that's what? Nah, bro, I am not competing for nobody.
stood out to her. He was charming and witty, a trait so prevalent that the production team granted him the nickname Smooth Operator.
Oh, brother.
Now, drama was, and still is, no stranger to reality TV, and Megan Wants a Millionaire was no different.
Really?
With such a bombastic cast of rich men vying for a woman by primarily flaunting their wealth, I'm sure you can see how this fell into the junk food category of shows out there.
How did they convince all of these millionaires to fight for this one woman? I just don't understand it. What?
No, that's all completely fine, and nothing about Megan Wants a Millionaire was even that big of a deal.
There's a huge deal, Nexpo. This woman has no ass and has millionaires fighting for her. Like, this is crazy. Yo, 2009 is different. Was different, bro.
In fact, we wouldn't even be talking about this show today if it weren't for the fact that by the time this show was set to air its 4th episode, Ryan Jenkins' wife was dead.
He had a wife? You was about to cheat on your wife with Megan?
August 15th. Police are...
I hope Ryan gets life in prison with no chance of parole, bro. I don't know. That's ridiculous work.
investigating a dumpster in Buena Park, California. Reportedly, a foul smell is emanating from it, yet it isn't the kind you'd expect. This isn't the smell of trash. It's not an animal. It's something else.
The smell of human flesh.
A few moments later, they dig out a densely packed suitcase. And upon opening it,
that boy Ryan.
Staring skyward is the mutilated, mangled body of a blonde female.
Oh, hell no.
Her teeth are gone, her fingers severed, and her clothing nowhere to be found. Immediately, the police open a case. They realize that whoever did this went out of their way to sever any identifying feature from her body. However, curiously, one still remained. You see, this woman had breast implants, and given that these carry their own serial numbers, it gave authorities a potential lead for identification. Even still, however, this woman was unrecognizable, ultimately leaving 3 pivotal questions to linger.
What?
Who was this? Who did this? And how in the world did she end up here?
A freak. You gotta literally be like a freak of nature to mutilate somebody, bro. Do you understand that you're literally tearing apart a human being? Hell no, bro. I feel like if you mutilate a body, it shouldn't even be a trial. Just throw them underneath the prison. As soon as you get enough evidence, bro, just throw them underneath the prison. Like, literally dig a hole and shove them underneath the prison. Hours later.
12 hours later, authorities receive a phone call. It's from Ryan Jenkins, and he's pleading. His wife, an LA model named Jasmine Fiore, had reportedly up and vanished. He claims that the previous night, the two arrived back at their home in Los Angeles before she...
I would disappear on him too if you was on a damn reality dating show. literally fighting with other millionaires for some mid. Like, that's insane.
He left to run errands. However, since then, nothing.
Literally married to a model. Like, literally married to a model doing that. Like, that's... Nigga, what?
For the next 48 hours, the breast implants were verified to belong to Jasmine Fiore. And as a result, her husband Ryan Jenkins had become a person of interest in her murder.
Yeah.
Yet, once they began looking into his movements over the few days prior, they realized that Jasmine Fiore, contrary to Ryan's testimony, had never arrived home.
So they already caught him.
As it turns out, on the night of her death, the pair had gone to the LaBerge Hotel in Del Mar, California for a poker tournament. And on CCTV, the pair can be seen arriving, getting settled in, and leaving. Oddly, however, at 4:30 in the morning on August 15th, just hours before Jasmine's body was uncovered, they discover a panicked Ryan Jenkins.
Yeah, that nigga guilty as shit, bro. Yeah, you're done.
Yet he's completely alone. Jasmine, wherever they went, never returned with him. She was never seen alive again.
Oh, hell no. That could have happened to Megan.
Immediately, Jenkins becomes their lead suspect. However, tracking him down proved to be difficult. He went on the run, from their home in LA to Nevada, Nevada to Utah, Utah to Canada, and all of this was done in the span of just 2 days.
Damn. Well, he is a millionaire, so he's probably got some access and some connections like that Nexpo's not going to be able to tell us.
Because of this, he was officially charged with the murder of Jasmine Fiore on August 20th.
They could have used a better picture.
Yet, because he was evading arrest, he always seemed to be one step ahead. It wasn't until the morning of August 23rd when authorities would locate him at a motel called Thunderbird in Hope, Canada.
That's crazy.
However, their encounter wouldn't go at all as planned.
Don't tell me
that
he had
morning,
a yaya.
Ryan Jenkins had never checked out. In fact, for the 3 days he was staying there, not a sound ever came from his room, and no one ever left. In reality, he had taken his own life.
Makes sense. Makes sense. He couldn't live life on the lam.
And inside his room, he awaited, hanging from the motel coat rack.
Oh my God.
Search for a reality show contestant charged with the first-degree killing of his ex-wife is finally over. Ryan Jenkins was found dead in a motel room in Canada yesterday, an apparent suicide. But officials say the investigation is far from over. Zuleika Nathu from the CBC.
That's crazy to commit a heinous crime and then to kill yourself. Like, don't even give people, the people who are affected by your crime an explanation as to why you did it. Nah, bro, I'm so scared. People are mad at me. Like, you didn't just kill somebody. Like, I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it, bro.
Following his capture, VH1 had placed Megan Once a Millionaire on an indefinite hiatus, leaving episodes 4 to 6, the remainder of the season, never to air. After an internal investigation, it was found that Jenkins was charged with assault over 2 years prior to filming, something that should have restricted him from ever being allowed on TV.
Y'all really have put Megan in danger, bro. Hold on.
Even further, there were reportedly countless other contestants with charges as well, opening up the door to accusations that VH1 perhaps overlooked these in hopes of sowing drama and driving up ratings.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. You having a bunch of millionaires on one set and there not being any charges between them all would be crazier, to be honest.
For years, episodes 4 through 6 of Megan Once a Millionaire was unseen by anyone outside of the studio.
Yeah.
However, in 2020, Megan herself released episodes 4 and 5 on her personal YouTube channel. Even still,
who is Megan? Like, who is she? Was she some sort of celebrity or something?
Though the finale eludes the public. And given the controversy that took place, it's unlikely to ever be released.
Yeah.
To this day, VH1 and the entire landscape of reality TV has felt the effects of this tragedy, yet nothing could ever compare to the grief the family of Jasmine Fiore underwent as they lost their loved one. According to Jasmine,
while her killer was being aired on and being called a stud muffin smooth killer on live TV,
Fiore's mother, their relationship was never healthy. They were always fighting, always arguing about something, but never did she think that Ryan Jenkins would take the life of her daughter. Never did she think that he would leave her in the condition he did. It felt like a complete nightmare. Yet it was painfully,
ridiculous.
Agonizingly real. Megan,
Ryan a bitch.
Once a Millionaire, to this day, remains as an eerie look at the faces people put on for cameras. Yet once they're off, and everyone inevitably returns home, we truly don't know any of them. Reality TV, they call it, even when it isn't reality at all.
Reality is way darker and way scarier. I still don't understand who Megan is. Why is she the one the millionaires are fighting over? I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. Rest in peace, Jasmine. That was ridiculous. Tape Quattro. My friend Luis.
And last week's number 1 down to number 2. Underworld from Ultimate.
AOL. I'm so glad I never used that.
It's late at night, and a conversation is playing out between two online users.
I don't know, something about AOL Messenger looks so creepy to me. Like, every time I've ever seen AOL Messenger, it's because of some freaky shit. I wasn't even born whenever this was being used, so yeah, I'm cool on that. This just looks freaky, bro.
In excess 00 and no 1093. It's charged, inappropriate, a glance into the most depraved desires of the human psyche.
I'm telling you, oh, brothers. Yeah, I love you. Wow. Nah. Definitely a minor.
This correspondence carries on for days. However, there's just one problem.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, what are you doing?
Nothing. What are you doing?
Nothing at the moment.
Oh, hell nah, bro. Oh, nah. Oh, nah. This might be the one where I have to tap out.
Okay.
What are you doing?
This nigga just sounds creepy. I can hear his gray hairs in his voice.
Nothing.
Did you go get your other money?
Yes, I did.
Did
you leave yet?
No.
You didn't leave yet?
No.
Are you going to come or not?
Yes, I shall.
Well, when are you going to come over?
Well, a little later.
A little later?
Yes.
Bro, get this freaky ass man out of my eardrums, bro.
Is that all right?
Yeah, I guess.
How would
boy?
What do you call him?
You're silly.
Boy.
Yeah, I guess.
Boy.
You call him Horror Boy?
You're silly.
You're the silly one.
Yeah, nah, bro. Death sentence, not gonna lie.
In excess 00 in the real world is a 56-year-old man named Louis Conrad.
Yeah.
And all throughout his chats and phone calls, he fully believes that he's conversing with a 13-year-old boy.
Nah. The guillotine for this man. Guillotine, firing squad, stoned. I don't care. Is this gonna be To Catch a Predator? Yeah. This is the dude who got caught, and he offed himself, right? I don't feel bad for him at all. I'm gonna be honest with you.
November 11th, 2004. Dateline NBC airs a show that you just might have heard of. It's called To Catch a Predator, and in collaboration with police and a watchdog group named Perverted Justice, they performed sting operations around the country, luring in and exposing predators on national television. In July of 2006, the production team commenced a multi-month sting operation in the town of Murphy, Texas, for a proposed two-part special in the show's second season. Among those caught were a 54-year-old math teacher named Stanley Kendall, a 52-year-old oil drilling consultant named Randall Wolford, and a 56-year-old district attorney for Kaufman County, Texas, named Louis Conrad.
An attorney? Nah, bro. Hell
Aside from the surprising number of high-profile individuals all living a secret life, Conrad starkly stood out among the others. For years, he climbed the ranks of the Texas legal system, contributing to the prosecution of countless criminals.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because of this, he carried an extensive knowledge of Texas law, something that the police and production team knew they'd have to carefully navigate if they were successfully to convict this guy. For his entire career, Conrad was well-liked and respected, they thought. So why in the world is he doing this?
Cause he's a freaky odd nigga, like that's it. He's not like us. Why does any predator do what they do? Something ain't right with them. There to go that AOL again, bro.
As the months carried on, the conversations between Louis Conrad and No One 093 would only become more depraved. Louis would share explicit images, express a strong desire to meet, and would—
The last one I said is an R-rated pic. Electric chair.
Consistently bring up subjects that a 13-year-old has no business talking about online. But throughout all of this, little did he know that No One 093 wasn't who he said he was. The entire persona was a setup, and the predator, Louis Conrad,
got caught
had fallen straight into his trap.
Yeah, this must have been the dude who took his life afterwards.
According to Texas law, engaging in explicit conversation with a minor is a third-degree felony, a crime that Louis Conrad had, without a doubt, heavily partook in.
Exactly.
Because of this,
and he knows this good and goddamn well. That's why I really can't bring myself to feel bad for this dude.
November 5th, 2006, Tarrant County PD had obtained a search warrant and set out to his home to finally arrest him.
And let me guess, he pussied out.
When they arrived, the police had hoped that Conrad would recognize them and come out to talk. However, his behavior wasn't so straightforward. Through his window, they could see a TV playing and a computer running, yet Louis was nowhere to be seen. And so, they break in, clear out room after room, yet once they make it to his main hallway, they discover him standing eerily still, seemingly awaiting them.
This must be
Frozen
animated.
in place, Louis begins pleading, explaining that he's not gonna hurt anyone. However, before the police can react, he, out of nowhere, pulls out a handgun from behind his back, turns it on himself, and takes his own life.
Yeah, I heard about this. I'm pretty sure this might have been the episode that got To Catch a Predator canceled. I think.
As the camera crew stood outside, the sound of a loud crack had broken the stillness in the air, and for a brief moment, they were unaware of the scene awaiting them inside. No one expected Louis Conrad to do this. No one expected him to prey on an underage kid.
Exactly.
No one expected any of this.
And no one expected to feel bad.
The man who has prosecuted criminals for more than 2 decades shot himself. We watched as an emergency medical team arrived and hoped they could somehow save him. But as Conrad is brought out on a stretcher, it's clear his condition is grave.
To this day, this incident is regarded as one of the darkest in To Catch a Predator's history.
Yeah.
And because of litigation and their dwindling relationship with advertisers, the show was canceled the following year.
Yeah. Like I said, it wasn't the direct cause, but it would definitely had an effect in causing To Catch a Predator to get canceled. If it were me and I was an advertiser, I'd slap my company's logo on that show even harder, bro. We get pedophiles to kill themselves, and you think I want to feel bad about that? Come on, bro. Take this endorsement.
While most aspects of this case, like the chat logs, the phone calls, and the aftermath are readily accessible online, there is one piece of media that has, to this day, never been released. Reportedly, there's an audio tape of Conrad's final words taken from police body cameras. However, for obvious reasons, it's remained sealed away.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
The Louis Conrad story is one of the most depraved situations that never should have happened. He was a man who knew better, a man who should have done better,
exactly.
A man who preyed on the most vulnerable subset of humanity. While the recording of his final moments may never see the light of day, his vile actions will forever be known, and his name immortalized as a monster.
As it should be.
That once lived.
That's crazy work,
among
bro.
us.
Like, why would you ruin your whole life just to pursue like a minor? Like, you mean to tell me there's no grown folk that get you going, bro? You had to go after a kid? Like, no, bro. I don't give a damn if you killed yourself on camera. Whoop diddly dee. Like, you shouldn't. What? It's on you, bro. All on you. Big ass nigga. 6 minutes. Silent Hill. What y'all know about that?
It's the early 2000s, and Silent Hill 2 haunts the world. Circuit City runs a
I might play that game for the gaming channel, so y'all might have to check that out.
Special on camcorders. And over on CBS Channel 11, a bear enthusiast named Timothy Treadwell appears on.
I already know where this is going, bro. I already know this case like the back of my hand. I'm gonna just let Nexpo probably gonna explain it better than y'all.
Letterman.
As soon as he said bear enthusiast.
Every measure, Timothy Treadwell is a lifelong wildlife admirer. For the past 11 years, he's gone out of his way to live with bears native to Katmai National Park in Alaska, documenting his experiences wherever he can.
This is a freaky
Anytime
case,
this
bro.
man was out in the wild, he had a camera on him and seemed to carry a remarkable lack of fear as he interacted with animals that could quite literally end his life at any moment. Throughout the 1990s, Treadwell was known to travel across the U.S., educating aspiring young adults on the intricacies of bears and their relationship with their natural environment.
He was genuinely a good dude, bro.
With this, he would share videos of his excursions, catalyzing an appreciation for the natural world to a new generation of young minds. These efforts would cause Treadwell to skyrocket in popularity, and by the early 2000s, he had effectively become a household name.
He was seen as like the Steve Irwin, but for bears.
From what it seemed, Treadwell's way of life was inherently dangerous, yet entirely rewarding. A dance with the devil at every turn, yet it was something he was massively enamored by. He felt this sense of oneness, a connection to a species that humans, for as long as we've lived, have inherently feared.
And you'll see why we should have feared them. Don't let the cute TikToks and cute videos you might see on Twitter confuse you, bro. A bear will literally what? A bear? That is literally nature's killing machine. I'm sorry. I'll admire it from a distance, like we're supposed to do.
In October of 2003, Timothy Treadwell had convinced his girlfriend, Amy Huguenard, to venture out with him to Katmai National Park. Contrary to his other excursions, however, this one was markedly late in the year.
When they're hibernating.
You see, October's on the brink of hibernation season, a time in which bears are aggressively scavenging for food to get them through the winter.
Yeah.
On top of this, there was a drought that plagued the area that year, drying up the food supply and causing an extra layer of aggression with the native wildlife. Effectively, the environment was incredibly tense. Competition ran high. Yet, even still, Timothy convinced Amy to trust him, as he was eager to continue his study of a species that he's carried a lifelong fascination with.
Shout out to Timothy, rest in peace, for real, but this was outrageous to do. Like, no. Everything was literally pointed against you. I would have said you could have waited a couple of months, bro. Them bears were not going nowhere.
It's been noted that Amy never wanted to go on this trip. In fact, she feared bears. Painfully so.
Oh my god. I didn't know she feared them.
It's the next day, and the forest is quiet. An air taxi pilot named Willie Fulton lands his plane near the couple's campsite to pick them up for their trip back home. Upon jumping out and looking around, however, Fulton quickly realizes that something isn't right.
Jeez.
Timothy and Amy are nowhere to be seen, and all that greets him is a torn-up campsite and a bear. A very disgruntled bear. Confused by what he's witnessing and fearing for his safety, Fulton jumps back into his aircraft and calls in a report to the area's park rangers. And once they arrive, they shoot the bear dead, scour the surrounding area, and shockingly, uncover a scene completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Throughout their campsite, the mutilated, half-eaten remains of Timothy and Amy are scattered across the ground. Their bodies have been violently torn apart. Timothy's head and arms are littered around the camp, and Amy is haphazardly buried in a pile of dirt next to their tent. That night, Timothy Treadwell and Amy Huguenard lost their lives at the hand of a wild bear. And in the 85-year history of Katmai National Park, the two of them were the first to ever die this way.
Jeez. I know they were the first.
While investigating the campsite,
like I said, dude made a real bad decision, but he didn't. Nobody deserves to go out like this except the child predators. But Timothy was a good dude, from what I could tell, from what I heard when I first heard of this case. Rest in peace, Timothy, for real, bro. And yeah, I'm gonna just keep letting Nexpo finish this story. But I think if I remember correctly, there's an audio of him getting mauled, and they said that there's a video, but it's, obviously nobody wants to see that.
The park rangers, surprisingly, came across a camera that recorded the attack. Reportedly, the lens cap was left on, leaving just 6 minutes of audio at the very end of their tape, depicting their final moments.
Yeah.
To this day, this audio has never been released. However, write-ups from those who had heard it firsthand paint a picture straight out of a nightmare.
I think I don't need to hear this audio. Like, I don't need to ever hear it. Leave it buried. Let that man have his dignity. We don't need to, like, hear him get mauled, bro. I really, really, really don't need to hear that.
It supposedly went something like this. The tape begins with the sound of Timothy outside of their tent during a storm. A bear has wandered into their camp. However, before he can react, he's violently attacked. In immense distress, he begins to scream, pleading for Amy to come to his aid. And so she unzips the tent, heads outside, and commands for Timothy to play dead. A few moments later, in believing Timothy to be deceased, the bear retreats into the dark, to which Amy, in complete shock, rushes to Timothy's aid. Understandably, she's screaming and crying. Her boyfriend, a man who spent his entire life devoted to nature, has just been brutally attacked by the very thing he loved.
Exactly.
But as it sinks in, the bear out of nowhere returns to Timothy, grabs his body, and drags him into the dark.
That shit crazy. You gotta, like I said, bro, don't let these TikToks or any of these cute little bear videos online trick you, bro. A bear will literally tear you limb from limb, bro. Trust me, you are not the animal whisperer.
Since this incident, the one and only copy of this tape has been left in the possession of Treadwell's longtime friend, Jewel Palovak, who to this day has never listened to it.
Good.
And aside from the authorities, the only other person who's known to have heard it is documentarian Werner Herzog. Just a few seconds in, however, he pulled his headphones off, instructed Jewel never to listen to it, and strongly urged her to destroy it.
That's a good man. I think I don't know if she destroyed it or not.
As far as it's known, Jewel Palovak remains in possession of this fabled tape and has vowed to both keep it sealed away and to never listen to it in her lifetime. With this, the final moments of Treadwell and Huguenard's lives are shrouded in a cloud of uncertainty, leaving the world around them to eternally speculate about it.
And it needs to stay that way. Let that man have his dignity. We don't need to hear him get mauled by a bear.
This tape, much like with Christine Chubbuck, is one of the darkest, most haunting cases of lost media that I truly believe we will never get our hands on.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy that never should have happened. A freak incident deep in the woods. 6 minutes of audio depicting one of the most gruesome ways to die that we may never hear in our lifetime.
And I hope it stays that way. Even if it somehow gets released, I am never listening to that shit, bro. I want that man to have his dignity. Darkest Lost Media 3. Nexpo has crazy production value. Yeah, man. Produced with love by Nexpo. Yeah, real talk. Damn, he has a ton of patrons. Yeah, he deserves every single one of them too. Like that video. Yeah. Crazy. The game show one is crazy. The exposing your father on live TV. That takes some real cojones. And this grocery store one was disgusting. The body in the suitcase one, that sound like a true crime case that I probably would listen to. Yeah. My friend Lewis, Rip Bozo, that's all I gotta say to that. And yeah, let that man rest in peace, bro. That shit was crazy. There were people who tried to like fake that they had the audio or something. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if you're obsessed with getting that audio, you're a weirdo. Real talk, you're a weirdo. But yep, shout out Nexpo. I'm gonna make sure his channel is linked down below. Give that man a subscription, bro. All right, peace.